Um, yes. Black Black Indigenous are also Black American. Yeah. Yeah, so they don't have to choose. They don't have to choose. They're Black American too. No, they're just not Black Indigenous and that's it. No. So when you say, are they still Black American? Yes, they're Black American. Okay, they're Black American. Many times, like I said, freedmen, and I got into a conversation with somebody about this. They were like, all freedmen were not enslaved. I was like, yeah, they were. That's why they're called freedmen. And she was getting it confused with free Black Americans. Okay, free Black Americans were not called freedmen. Okay, y'all can look that up. And so she was getting that confused. But yeah, so they're Black American. They're Black American, but they're also Black Indigenous. Um, so yeah, they don't have to choose that. That's what they are. So basically, let's say for instance, like I could actually, here's the thing, like I could be related to a Black Indigenous, but I'm Black American. I'm not Black Indigenous, but my cousin could be Black Indigenous. That's how that works. Now, now should they be wary or should they keep a watch, an eye open, when they're reinstated? Because they don't have to go and be reinstated if they don't want to, because they'll always be a part of Black America. Black America didn't put them out. Okay, that's just one. Our tribe didn't put them out. Okay, but um, should they be wary? I mean, I would, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't just go in there, I'm not indigenous or anything, but I wouldn't just go in there just, happy, you know. I'd be like, first of all, because that's not first of all, what comes with my citizenship? Do I get all the rights that I need to want citizenship? Do I get to, here's one thing that I want to know. Um, am I able to be involved in politics? Can I help shape the laws of my tribe? Because see, the last time, right, they cut black indigenous out. See, and thing is, if you're going back in there, you don't go back in there, wild eyed and happy. No, no, it's got to be no. Uh-uh. Go back in there understanding that you got to solidify something. In order to solidify something, you got to have some political power within the tribe. Okay. Now that of course that may get some pushback, but what else to flip? We Black American. We used to that. You spit on us and we bloom, baby. Okay, so go back. So I would if I was Black Indigenous, I'd go in there and I'd have my eyes wide open, and I wouldn't go up in there just to be up in there, just to be a part of something, because I don't need to be a part of that. That's just me. I don't need to be a part of that. Okay. Because I'm already Black American. What the flip? You know what I mean? So I don't need to be an extra part of anything, because you already put me out one time. And that thing will always be, it'll always, just because of how I am, it'll always be at the back of my mind. Meaning I always got to watch my back. You know what I'm saying? I always have to watch my back. I don't give a flip, you know? Because back in the day, back in the day, I know it wasn't this group of indigenous people, but, well, yeah, it was. Because the Cherokee years ago, they got rid of um their freaking Black memberships. Yeah, so yeah, this generation and past generations, they were get away from me. I don't want you in my tribe because you're Black or whatever, right? So yeah, I'd have a little, I ain't gonna lie, I have a little attitude now. I wouldn't be the one they want to see walking down the street. Oh, here come her. Okay? Like I wouldn't be the one. Because I'm gonna really tell my people. I'm gonna say, what, we gonna have to make sure we got our own vax, because they did it once and they did it again, and we don't know why they want us back in right now. But I tell you what, if we go back into anything right now, we gonna have our eyes and our ears open, because just as big as they took it away last time, they'll snatch the thing away again, and you got to start all over again. See, so and another, so being in politics and making sure that your black indigenous people are are solid, are taken care of in there. That's a must. And now someone asked, would they still get reparations? Yes, of course. They're black Americans still. They're black Americans still. So if reparations were to come down, yes, they are descendants of the enslaved. Okay. Would they also get tribal funds? Yes. Yes, they're owed it. They're owed it. They would get both. Yes, they would. They would. Now the other indigenous, okay, not the black indigenous. I'm talking about the other indigenous. They would not get reparations, but they wouldn't get black indigenous reparations that belong to Black America. They wouldn't, that belong to Black America and the black indigenous. They wouldn't get that. Um, yeah, so they wouldn't get that at all. But yeah, like if I was to go back, if I was black indigenous. Now, thing is, there's a look. I'm not black indigenous, but there is a lineage, my great grandmother's lineage on my paternal side that I honestly have never. I got all my other grandparents' lineages, but hers stops, and she never spoke about it. No one, she never would. My great grandma would never, ever, ever talk about it, and I've been told that the reason I can't find her parents is possibly because she was probably from an indigenous tribe. Now she was listed as mulatto. Okay, she is. But but and from down, and I'm assuming because I found where a lot of her relatives were, and they all look alike or whatever. But they were all down near Louisiana area, right? So when I looked on the rolls, right, um, Green came up and her first name, two people, right, around the same time she was born, right, and but I don't have anything else. Yeah, so I don't know, but yeah, so I've never gone around saying, I'm indigenous based on that. Never. Because she from what my dad told me, she just never, that was something she never talked about. Never, ever, ever. No one knows anything. And I can't find a birth certificate. Nothing. They said it's probably in a they said more than likely. But I can't say yay or nay. All right then. That's all my indigenous stuff for today.